The allegation was that Hynek took a computer that the Air Force gave him, and he passed it along to Paul Benowitz. And a lot of people saw Bennewitz using this computer, and basically this computer had software where he could supposedly talk to the aliens.
Tinfoil Hat.
Oh, what the f*** you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Revolution will be podcasted. All right, guys, welcome to Tinfoil Hat, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studio. That's right, Wolfpack Gold. Just go to samtripoli.gold and use the promo code Tinfoil, and you too can get in on a Precious Metals game for as little as $50 a month. We're very excited to have our guest on. He's just a wonderful country lawyer, and we're blessed to have him on. Please welcome to Tinfoil Hat, Adam Gorightly. How are you, sir?
Thanks for having me on. Oh, there goes my voice. I'm doing great today, except for my voice.
That's fine. That's fine. We appreciate you powering through it, my friend. Adam, thanks for coming on Tinfoil Hat. We're blessed to have you. For those who are not familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
Yeah, besides being a simple country lawyer, I'm primarily an author, written about 8 or so books on paranormal subjects, UFOs, conspiracies, odd characters in these fields. I'm also a sometime actor. I play the narrator role in this adaptation of my book, Saucers, Spooks, and Kooks. I was in another horror film that came out in 2019 called The Hill and the Hole, which people ought to check out. I play the character of Roger Person, who is like a homicidal Freemasonic cult leader with a heart of gold. And we have a podcast now we've launched, kind of a companion to the film Saucers, Spooks, and Kooks. And that's kind of me.
Well, we love it. It's very interesting stuff. Thank you for coming on again. So I want to kind of start out by just letting you know I love paranormal. I'm so into it. I think the world that we live in is a lot more interesting than people want to that the powers that be let us know. But one thing that is interesting me, and I'd love to get your view of it. Excuse me, everybody. So much of the paranormal we don't see everywhere. Why is it that we tend to see these paranormal things when we're alone, we're in the forest, outside of, let's say, is it Owlman in Chicago? He's the only one who seems to like to enter the inner city. Is there anybody like what are your thoughts on why we tend to only see these things in the country, in the fields? Like last night, there was something in the sky in LA and all these people took videos of it, but that's very rare.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, there's a few different answers for that. One of them, is why do people often have these paranormal encounters, whether it's UFOs or whatever, Bigfoot, ghosts, they often have them where there's no other witnesses, or they're off in the forest by themselves. And you could attribute that to being in a different state of mind, when your mind quiets down, you're by yourself, you perhaps go into some type of meditative state. Maybe that's partially the answer of, how people observe these things. The writer John Keel had some interesting observations back in the day. He called it his super spectrum theory, where like psychics and folks like that had to enter into a certain state of mind, like dialing in a frequency on a radio. And they could see through, they call them UFO windows or things of that nature, where if you get to that certain state of mind, then you're able to see what is possibly always there around us, But you got to, there's a lot of different ways. Hypnotic states, sometimes they talk about drug-induced states. There's a lot of encounters with entities under, I've heard people talk about DMT and these type of things. Or once again, a psychic, somebody's just kind of attuned to a different vibe or a different frequency. As far as UFO encounters, that's a little, might be along the same lines, as well.
Do you think that the electromagnetic energy of a big city could also either be a repellent to these things, or maybe it hides what we see because there's so much electromagnetic energy in, let's say, Los Angeles? When you land at LAX, guys, won't you agree you feel LA? It's like an energy surge just hits you. Maybe it's not possible to see these things with that energy everywhere. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that could be possible. I mean, I'm generally skeptical about ET visitations. I think a lot of the sightings that have gone on over the years are secret aircraft in development and these type of things. And also, electromagnetic stuff like experimentations with non-lethal weapons, that type of stuff. And that's kind of the focus of this film, Saucers, Spooks, and Kooks, and this fellow, Dr. Paul Benowitz, who became the victim of, you could call it a government counterintelligence program, a disinformation campaign that used, UFOs and ETs to cover what was really going on at Kirtland Air Force Base in the 1970s and 80s.
Interesting. So, sir, I saw you wanted to talk about a particular subject. I just got to figure out, it is the Bennewitz affair. Is that how I pronounce it, or did I butcher that? But
you got it right.
Okay. Where do you want to discuss? Where do you want to start with that?
Let's start several places, but let's start in 1989. There was a UFO conference. It was the MUFON conference that year, and that's the big UFO group, Mutual UFO Network. And there was a lot of buzz going around about this researcher, Bill Moore. He was going to unload something at the conference, and he sure did. He basically came forward and said that he had been part or an asset for a government disinformation campaign targeting this Paul Benowitz fellow. And this caused a great stir. He gave, William Moore gave this speech, and he rushed out of the building, and people were about ready to tear him apart. All the different UFO researchers over the years who had considered him a friend, somebody who was on the level with them, but he basically played the community. His role in this, as he told it, was in 1980, he got approached by this person who was high-level military intelligence. Other times he's said it was somebody in upper echelon of the CIA. He always used the code name for him, Falcon, and the deal that they made with Bill Moore, this UFO researcher journalist, was that if he would keep tabs on people within the field of ufology, then in turn they would share with him top secret UFO poop, different documents and these type of things. So that was the deal that was made. And what the concern there, they buttered up Morse, said they were thought he was doing the best work in the field, but why they tapped him was because they knew he had contacts with UFO researchers in the Soviet Union, and there was basically concerns that these different foreign spies were infiltrating the field of ufology.
Whoa.
because at that time there was a lot of civilian contractors working on different parts of the stealth bomber, for instance, but they didn't know the full scope of what they were doing. Or
wow.
Paul Benowitz, he was a civilian contractor. There was a concern that these civilian contractors who had access to certain secrets and whatnot, that these different foreign agents would basically get top secret information through them. So that anyway, that was basically the concerns of the spies involved in this case, who were basically running this disinformation campaign on Bennewitz. It gets much crazier than that.
Oh, I can't wait. So real quick. Mm-hmm. So we've had a guy on the show, great interview, the dark journalist. Mm-hmm. He's come on the show and he brought up something very interesting to me, because we always talk about the assassination of JFK, who's involved. And he brought up that he thought NASA also had a say in what happened that day, because, Operation Paperclip, there were lots of Nazis at the top of, if not the top brass of NASA, and JFK wanted to share information on UFOs with the Russians because he didn't want them to think that what they saw were U.S. ships with with nuclear weapons and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it gets very interesting that the amount of, let's call it a hidden hand that has been involved in the UFO community for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Oh, yeah. And I've heard those. I'm familiar with the dark journalist work, and I've heard those stories revolving around, some point to the likes of Fred Krisman as being involved in the JFK assassination. Krisman dated way back in the history of ufology. He was involved in one of the Maury Island UFO sighting, which you may have heard of. And he was also allegedly one of the 3 tramps in Dealey Plaza. Oh. He had worked for Boeing. So that's one of the characters that I think the dark journalist has probably pointed to. With Bennewitz, the deal with him, he was, he was a physicist, scientist. He basically worked with the government developing sensors, altimeters, that type of stuff. I think he developed stuff for the space shuttle, and his house was right there, Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque, and he started seeing strange aircraft appear, in December of 1979.
Holy shit.
And he was concerned because they're over this area called Monsanto Mountain, which there was an underground facility under that mountain that was the biggest storehouse of nuclear armaments during that period. And so, he started witnessing these crafts, filming them, photographing, but he's also picking up signals too. And over time, he believed these were ET signals he was picking up, and the government encouraged him along those lines. And I can talk a bit how they did that. What was going on at Kirtland was Sandia Labs, and they had all kinds of high-tech. I'm sure they're still developing stuff I mentioned before. They had these satellites were spy satellites. Basically, that's some of the communications Bennewitz was picking up. They were testing early on a lot of the non-lethal weapons came out of that area. So Bennewitz was discovering all this stuff, and he's telling the security at the base, I think, there's these strange aircrafts and stuff going on. This is a national security problem. And so they had him come into Kirtland Air Force Base, and he shared all his findings and films and stuff. And they said they would work with him on this. He was trying to get a contract out of them to further investigate UFOs. So that's, at this point, the operation, the disinformation operation started.
Wow. So how early into the UFO movement do you think that the CIA or the government or whatever got involved from the jump? Did they form it? Are they the ones who created it, or to control the narrative?
Well, there's certainly been, that a group of people and run a through line, to the people who've been involved over the years, even to present day. Yeah, there's a narrative that's been spun. But if you look at the beginning of the modern era of UFO, it's like when Kenneth Arnold had his sighting, it was June 24th, 1947. That kind of started a UFO flap for the next few weeks that kind of ended in whatever happened at Roswell. Now, there's an interesting paper I've come across just here recently, if you're talking about the early days, and it's by this guy named James Carrion, and he believes that his paper is called The Roswell Deception. This guy really dug deep into the documents and FOIA requests and these type of things. And his contention is that he calls this paper The Roswell Deception, that, during World War II, you had all these deception units. The British had them, you've probably heard about this in the U.S., where they create like fake tanks on the field. And there was one operation where they planted a dead soldier with fake war plans. And, eventually the Nazis came upon this dead body, and, the Italians and the Nazis took these war plans seriously, even though it was part of this deception operation. And Carrion's talking about this unit it was still viable unit into 46 and 47. He contends that, there was concerns with the U.S. military. The war was over. A lot of the soldiers were going back home, but the Russians still had this huge standing army and more equipment than the U.S. had. We were kind of behind things, if another war started then. So they created this deception program where you had all these UFO sightings to get the Russians to think that we had some advanced aircraft we were hiding, and spinning the UFO narrative also to conceal what was going on. Basically, we had more, different technology far advanced than we had at the time. So, that's one way to look at those early days of ufology.
Do you find it weird that we were so confused, so concerned with the Russians at this time, but yet now today we work with the Russians on like the space center, the space was it center station? Excuse me, space station. Is that weird?
Yeah, well, you could ask why, but I guess when the wall came down, there was different glasnost or whatever they called it, to have the two country superpowers work together on these projects. But I'm sure there's still a lot of, there is spying going on in all aspects of military and aerospace industries with Russia and all these other countries.
So when this guy comes out and says, I've basically been working with the FBI or the CIA or the government, and my job is to monitor this guy, what do you think that means in terms of like how that affected the guy that he was in charge of monitoring? Like, do you think he pushed him certain ways,
he was
convinced him not to follow certain trails, stuff like that?
Well, eventually he had a mental breakdown too. But yeah, they wanted to point him in another direction. They wanted him. Let's give an example here. There was this document. So there's William Moore. He's the journalist. The one who's agreed to this dirty deed to monitor these people in ufology. And his handler, name you might be familiar with, was Special Agent Richard Doty. And at one point, Doty showed Bill Moore this document about an Aquarius project off a teletype, and Moore reviewed it. And it looked like nothing odd about it. It looked like a secret program, but nothing about aliens or UFOs. A couple weeks later, Doty gave him another version of this document that had been altered to include a mention of ETs as well as a group called Majestic 12.
Yes.
That was one of the first mentions of Majestic 12. And Doty told Moore, I want you to pass this on to Paul Benowitz. And Moore was reluctant. He kind of sat on it for a while. He didn't feel good about it, but Doty pushed him, say, hey, we're going to end this agreement if you don't pass it on to Paul Benowitz.
Damn.
And so, yeah, and the idea there was that Bennewitz would take it, wave it around to the papers and be discredited. But now that was Moore's version of that. He cautioned Bennewitz about doing anything with the information. Let's research it, all that kind of stuff. But then a later interview, Bennewitz had a little different version of that story. Bennewitz had sent all these films and photographs to be developed, he'd been taken, and they disappeared, from the where he was having them developed. He suspected the government might have got a hold of him or whatever. But according to Bennewitz, somebody visited him one day. He didn't say more per se, but somebody brought this Aquarius document, much larger document. He started going through with Bennewitz and Sharon, telling them whoever this individual was, it was top secret. And within the document, he saw all the photographs that were missing. They put it in this document and they told him, this is a super secret.
Oh my God.
Super secret document. Don't do anything or you could be prosecuted. Lock it away. We just wanted to share this information. So that was a way of burying, what he was filming and photographing, over at Kirtland. It gets really strange. You know who J. Allen Hynek is?
No, I do not.
He was a scientific advisor to Project Blue Book going back to the 40s, and he's the pipe smoking dude. If you remember Close Encounters of the Third Kind, professor guy, that was J. Allen Hynek. And the allegation was that Hynek took a computer that the Air Force gave him, and he passed it along to Paul Benowitz. And a lot of people saw Benowitz using this computer, and basically this computer had software where he could supposedly talk to the aliens. Bennewitz believed he was talking to the aliens through this computer. At the same time, the NSA moved in a townhouse across from him and started beaming him with messages to counteract. Bennewitz was trying to decode all this stuff that was coming from Kirtland Base. So NSA wanted to throw, like you have information coming yet from one angle, then a bullhorn from another angle to drown it all out. So this is a type of activities that were going on around Bennewitz, and ultimately he had a nervous breakdown at one point, and his family put him in a mental health facility.
I get that, dude. I mean, like you're talking to aliens on a computer, you're getting stuff beamed into your head. Like, that's a crazy day. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, crypto had a nice run last week, a nice run. And let me tell you, if you want to get in on that run, you got to listen to my good friend James McMahon and Copy My Crypto. Let me tell you about Copy My Crypto. Does it piss you off to watch crypto fly up in price for over a decade and you've still done nothing about it? Yeah, it makes sense. Crypto is complicated and really boring. But here's the good news. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or to make money like so many have. The CopyMyCrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally owns, which means you just copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. You just simply copy along. So let me tell you about James, okay? He runs Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has like 100,000 followers on it, like subscribers. It's unbelievable. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put in $100 in each one, it went on to be worth over $123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick of the year, the one he singled out, called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said, okay? That one call alone retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go on YouTube and verify this yourself. So if you'd like to join the over 3,000 members who copy James, then pause what you're doing and head right over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. You'll not only find proof of everything I've said, but our viewers get full access for just $1. Okay? Yes, you've missed out on Bitcoin. That's fine. You can even get a little piece, but don't even worry about that. But there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you've missed out on all of them? Guys, don't waste any more time, okay? Go to the site and read it for yourself. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/tinfoil hat. It's ended money worries for so many. It just may do the same for you. And we thank him for sponsoring the show. Guys, if you're a man, if you're a woman, and you put in some work, you know how important having the right clothes is for the right job, okay? And that's why I want to tell you about our good friends at True Work. Working outside in the springtime means you're dealing with the chilly mornings, hot afternoons, and everything in between. Not to mention the mud, the rain, and whatever else the weather decides to throw at you. You need workwear that can keep up with the changing conditions, and True Work has you covered.
Most workwear is made from cotton blends, which restrict your movement and get soaked after just a few raindrops. True Work uses advanced performance fabrics to build products designed specifically for work on the job site. Springtime is the perfect season for the T2 Work Pant, which keeps you comfortable over a wide range of conditions. These pants have 4-way stretch for bending, kneeling, and climbing, a water-resistant finish to shed rain, and 9 intelligent pockets to keep tools just where you need them. They've been tested and validated for more than 10 years by real trade pros working in real job site conditions. With more than 15,000 5-star reviews, it's worth experiencing the difference for yourself.
You know what I love, dude? Look at these rain pants. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, those things look like they're good for anything. A night at the club, you look fashionable, breakdancing. When it rains, I could wear that all the time.
The S1, what does it say? The Storm Cell, I think is what it's called.
Oh, it's fire,
You know what's
dude.
funny
Listen.
is I've taken these snowboarding, and I know they're like rainproof, and I was kind of sketchy about it. I'm like, dude, this is going to get me wet. Nope.
Dude, this guy
Insulated,
never
good to
gets
go.
wet.
Yeah, you shouldn't be sketchy.
Ladies,
about
don't
True
hang
Work.
out
They're
with
the
them.
best.
Listen, the work doesn't stop just because the weather changes. Upgrade to T2 Work Pants and stay comfortable no matter what the day brings. Get 15% off your first order at truework.com with code TINFOIL. That's TRUEWERK.com truework.com, code tinfoil. True Work, built like it matters, because it does. And we thank them for sponsoring the show. Those pants are fire.
You know, and you got to take in Bennewitz. He already had a history as a ufologist several years before. He belonged to this group called APRO, Area Phenomena Research Association, and he was involved in that. And he also had an interest in cattle mutilations, which is kind of related to this story as well. So he had kind of a predisposition there of having this interest in UFOs, so it didn't take too much to push him over. You know, as far as what he was getting off that computer, you think 1980, it was pretty basic stuff. It was like text ASCII, they call it. So he'd ask questions of the aliens, and the answer would be like 2 dots for yes and a straight line for no. But he's also getting images off the computer, once again, like the dot matrix like stuff. And one person who saw it said it looked like a dinosaur looking thing, you know. And that's where I think a lot of the mythology of reptilians came from, was from what Bennewitz thought he was experiencing. And it all became part of the UFO mythology is over time, you know.
So if you had to guess who is corresponding as the aliens, if you had to guess.
You would assume, since the Air Force was behind that computer, that it was part of this counterintelligence program.
Damn,
and you know, when I first heard NSA was also involved, it's like, okay, you got Air Force, NSA, but I think it's pretty common, as I've learned, that NSA at these high security facilities will often have agents there, you know, doing whatever they do. So, I mean, it seems it was this counterintelligence operation, Air Force, as well as the NSA, that were behind this computer.
That is crazy, dude. This would be the best movie. This would be like the best movie.
Who'd you want that?
Watch the movie. So
I will watch the movie. Is it the Kooks one? Is that what you're talking about? Is that the? I will watch this. That's incredible.
yeah,
That's incredible, dude. Now
there's one.
Go on.
There's
Sorry.
one. Oh, go ahead.
No. Please go on.
No, go ahead.
I want to.
There's one other aspect of the. It gets crazier from here, though.
Before we move to that,
so Bennewitz is in.
Real quick. What do you, before we get into how much crazier it gets, because it is amazing. I know you mentioned that Bennewitz was working in, studying cattle mutation, all that stuff. But what about him did they think he was such a danger? Why him? Why was he such a danger that they felt they had to basically run psyops on him?
I think it was a wider spread program. You know how he was a civilian contractor, but at that time, a bunch of these other civilian contractors, Bill Moore was in contact with, and they were working on these different programs, the stealth bomber at that time, and these other things, and they were really concerned about, you know, who they were in contact with, and so they created these phony documents like these Aquarius documents and the MJ-12 documents. And one way, if they they could pass these on to different of these ufologists, these civilian contractors, and see where they ended up at. You know, that was one of the reasons. Or if they had, say, a photo of the stealth bomber at that time, or some other weapons system on an aircraft, they it could be presented as this is a UFO, and pass it through the channel and see if a Russian spy ends up with it or whatever, what their reaction would be. And it was like the Aquarius project really didn't have anything to do with UFOs or ETs. If you go on like the Black Vault, you can pull up the files for the Aquarius project. And I was disappointed when I found them. I thought I was going to find some alien stuff, but it was just, some other project having to do with physics or something. But they were dropping these code names also to run it through eventually maybe to spies to see what their reactions were, what they knew. So, yeah, this whole counterintelligence program going on.
Is there any chance?
And so Bennewitz, he was the extreme of that one. He was, and there was also, like I said, it gets crazier, but
I can't wait to hear. Basically, you had answered that earlier, so my apologies for that. What did you want to say?
I was just going to ask: is there any chance the cattle mutilation was a psyop? Anyway, he just wasn't. They gave that to him to get him started into the UFO theory, because running into that isn't just random.
Mm-hmm. He went to a cattle mutilation conference in 1979 in Albuquerque. It'd become a big, it'd become a big
there's
deal.
A conference for that?
Cattle mutilation conference.
Oh my God, is it still going? I want to go.
Well, it was more of a. It was put together by the U.S. Senator Schmidt, who'd actually been an Apollo astronaut. He was the last guy to walk on the moon. And so all these ranchers were losing cattle during that period. You probably heard the story, and there was all these different theories of what it was, was it there was UFOs seen in the vicinity, and sometimes black helicopters. Other people were saying there were Satanists.
The chupacabra, what was the thing? At one point, that Mexican little rat thing would go in there and suck up the blood. They were saying it was another mystic animal.
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out, what the heck is going on. They want their politicians to do something. So that's how this conference came together, with ranchers, and you also had UFO people there and politicians sorting through this stuff. And at that conference, Bennewitz met this highway patrolman named Gabe Valdez. He lived in he was the highway patrolman in the Dulce area, and Valdez became the expert on investigating these cattle mutilations. So he and Bennewitz were friends, and they'd drive out. He'd go on, ride-alongs at midnight looking at some of these cattle mutilations, which are also associated with UFOs. So that was how Bennewitz got involved in the mutilations. And at Dulce, which is north of Albuquerque, that also became part of the story, because there was rumors that there was a secret alien base there. And that's what the people who were handling Bennewitz, they started pointing to him in that direction to take his focus off of Kirtland. Now, not to get in too deep into the weeds, but one of the answers, what was going on there at Dulce with these cattle mutilations, was that it was a government project, basically to test different cattle that might have been exposed to radiation, from different things. There was a thing called Project Gas Buggy in the 60s, where they did underground atomic explosions in the area to try to get natural gas out of the ground. It didn't go too well. That sounds like a crazy thing, so there was a lot of these concerns about radiation in the environment. So that, it's one of the theories that it was a secret government project to test these cattle going on, and that there'd been for a period of time a remote lab there in the Dulce area. It gets involved.
Yeah, it does get involved, and I'm loving this. So when you say it gets crazier, what happened next? Like, so we're at the point he's got a computer, he's talking to dots and straight lines, and he's getting stuff beamed into his head. And what year was that, by the way?
So we're talking 1980. He had his first sightings in 79. So this went on for a bit. Now, in May of 80, there was a woman who came into a highway patrol office in Cimarron, New Mexico, claiming she had been abducted by a spaceship, an ETs. And the patrolman there didn't know what to do with her, but they know a guy named before, Gabe Valdez out of Dulce. He was the go-to guy for UFOs and cattle mutilations. He came and picked her up.
Oh, jeez.
And her and her son, and delivered them to Paul Benowitz, because Bennewitz was connected with this UFO organization I mentioned before. And Bennewitz knew a guy with that organization who did hypnotic regressions to help this woman. So in the first session, her name was Myrna Hansen. Bennewitz was concerned that the aliens could read her mind or beam her or something, so they did their first regression session in his Lincoln Town Car, and they wrapped it completely with foil.
What?
Which maybe is where the tinfoil hat came from, to block the alien beams. Over time, he constructed like a Faraday cage type thing to keep out the alien beams. He was convinced they were beaming him, now trying to interfere with these regression sessions. First, what Myrna Hansen said, that her and her son, they were at an eagle nest, which was near Cimarron, and they witnessed a UFO beam down a light, suck up a cow into the ship. And her and her son were sucked up, and they saw the ETs mutilate the cattle or dissect it, part of some type of medical procedure. And they also did a procedure on her and her son. And she was regressed a number of times. During another episode, she remembers going through a medical experiment. You guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
You have a couple moments of, is it his or
You guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Your internet's acting up, but we're
hear
doing
you.
fine.
I thought it's probably...
I think he's getting us.
So,
delay. Yeah. There's a little delay.
She was counting these regressions she was having, and undergoing a medical experiment where she broke free and found herself in an underground facility where you had these vats with human body parts as well as alien human hybrids going on. So this was one of the
bats like vampire, like bats, like flying bats with human body parts.
Fats.
Oh,
Vats, not bats. Vats.
Oh, okay.
vats.
I
Yeah.
thought he said bats. Okay, my bad.
And so this was like the stuff that later made its way into the X-Files, by the mid-90s. And so things got crazy at Bennewitz's house. She was there for 3 weeks or so. They were being assaulted by these beams. And there's, in the filming here, actual tapes of Bennewitz describing this. One of the beams knocked down his wife. I mean, he was full on believing now that aliens were attacking him. He started developing his own beams and ray guns to counteract the aliens. And
Holy cow.
It's crazy, bro.
Now, I'd mentioned the guy Gabe Valdez. I interviewed his son Greg Valdez, who was younger, but he was around to witness some of this stuff secondhand a lot of the time. And what he suggested that was Myrna Hansen, this lady who claimed to have these encounters, may have also been part of the psyop. She kind of disappeared after that. Nobody really knows what became of her. If you do a Google search for Myrna Hansen, you come up with an actress from like the 40s and 50s. So
Whoa.
perhaps she was an actress playing a role.
Whoa, that's crazy. Whoa, that's how deep it goes? I mean, especially now, not to get into another subject or bring any up politics, but you know what the feeling on like Erica Kirk and these MK Ultra sex kittens and all that stuff, and like that could be what's happening right here.
Well, she has to really play the part because she has to act crazy too.
Oh, how about the kid?
Yeah.
The kid's like, I mean, we hear about child actors, but you're LARPing, you're live action role playing.
Right?
That's crazy to me.
I'm not up to speed on the Erica Kirk stuff. So.
Yeah, you're lucky, dude. You're lucky.
That's really
Sorry to even bring it up and taint you. My apologies, but man, that is crazy. And the question, you know, because it's like you can have a paranoid friend, and you're like, dude, chill. That's not what's happening. But what if it is happening? Like, I'm not saying necessarily he's talking to aliens, but like someone's trying to beam something into it. And like, we're talking the 80s now, and they have voice to skull technology in the 80s, dude.
Well, it's like now it's like telling people the Havander syndrome, you're crazy. That's been proven facts.
No,
People used to
good
tell
point,
people
Xavier.
that's not real. The Havander syndrome isn't real. Now you're like, oh, I'm sorry that I told you that you were crazy.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
Some of the effects he was getting were like little spider bites. He was actually showing physical effects. One of the odd ones that other people saw who went to his home were these little orbs, blue orbs that would sometimes appear, and people go, Paul, look over there, there's a blue orb. He said, yeah, they show up all the time. You know, it was like perhaps some type of monitoring device going on, but he really went off the deep end. After a while, he felt that ETs were walking through his door and shooting him up with hypodermic needles. So, you know, that's when you get into like the MK Ultra MyLab stuff. Whoa. And so this case has everything, you know. The government, you know, he was convinced that Myrna Hansen had an implant at the base of her skull. And so the Air Force actually took her in, and they took CAT scans or X-rays supposedly showing, you know, whatever was going on with her. So, you know, they kept continuing to lead Bennewitz along in this thing until, once again, eventually he had a meltdown.
You know how he was saying how he would always see the blue dots? You know what that reminds me of? Not that, kind of like Bledsoe. We always wonder if Bledsoe is like a guy where the government uses him and you pull all of, he just says they'll be there and they show up. Sounds a lot like this, where it's just like they're using them so you can't, well, he's an example of whenever, everyone who hangs with Bledsoe says that those things show up every time.
Yeah, there's that famous video. Yeah. Go on, sir.
Oh, I was just going to say, I've seen some of the Bledsoe videos, but a lot of times it doesn't look too impressive to me.
Dude, it's crazy, man. You remember that news clipping where the guy, the reporter goes down and meets the guy, and he's like, Yeshua, show up, and it shows up, and you're like, what?
And the news is like, oh, God, and then they showed up. They couldn't believe it.
Then they sent that guy to do puppy stories, and like they're opening a bakery after Orb showed up. That's got to be a weird career. That's got to be a weird career. Very crazy, man. Very.
That's the sign to open a bakery. Orb show up.
Yeah. That's nuts, dude. That is nuts, man. Guys, listen, we all want to have better health. We want our friends and our family to have better health. And there's no better gift that you can give someone than better health. So let me tell you about Superpower. Superpower, they basically believe humans could live 100 years if they took care of their bodies right, dude. That's why we all have that potential in us for sure. You just need to get the right help, okay? In the future, you're just going to be laughing about how ridiculous healthcare was in the back in the day. Superpower is going to change the way you deal with your health, okay? And they're the best at it, right?
Yeah, Superpower will send a licensed professional to your home, or you can visit a nearby lab. It's one simple blood draw with more than 100 biomarkers, which is way more than what you usually get, and it's a way to unlock a real understanding of your body. Their app includes detailed info on your heart, liver, thyroid, hormones, metabolism, vitamin and mineral levels, and even environmental toxins. So from disease prevention to treating that annoying brain fog, or simply optimizing your gym game, Superpower is the most comprehensive and advanced system out there. Superpower doesn't just give you a one-time snapshot, though. That's the thing about Superpower. It tracks your results over your lifetime. Each test is another data point, builds on the last, so you can actually see progress year after year instead of just starting over every January. Superpower used to cost $499, but right now it's just $199 for the full experience. That's more affordable than anything else out there. Other testing services charge $500, $1,000, sometimes even more for similar or fewer test results. Know what your numbers are with Superpower.
Make this the year you stop guessing about your health with Superpower. Not only did Superpower reduce the price to just $199, but for a limited time, our listeners get an additional $20 off with code TINFOIL. All right? Head to Superpower, just like it sounds, spelled just like it sounds, .com and use the code TINFOIL at checkout for $20 off membership. After you sign up, they'll ask you how you heard about them. So make sure to mention this podcast to support the show, and we thank them for sponsoring the show. Real quick, I want to have an important conversation with you, and that's about life insurance. You know, people don't want to talk about, but it's very important, okay? Especially if you have kids, you want to take care of your children. If you're a dad or a mom and you're taking care of your kids financially and something unfortunately happens to you, who's going to take care of your kids? And that's why I want to tell you about our good friends at Ethos, okay? Ethos makes getting life insurance fast and easy, 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. There's no medical exams. You just answer a few simple health questions. You can get up to $3 million in coverage, okay? Some policies are as low as $30 a month. Ethos has a 4.8 of 5-star on Trustpilot and over 3,000 reviews. So here's what we need you to do. Help protect your family with life insurance through Ethos. Get your instant free quote at ethos.com/tinfoil. That is ethos.com/tinfoil. Application times and rates may vary, and we thank them for sponsoring the show. Hey guys, real quick, go to samtripoli.com. Check out my dates tomorrow night. I'm in Batavia, then I'm in Raleigh, then I'm in Atlanta, then I'm in Hamilton, Toronto. Okay, then Hamilton, then Toronto, then I'm in I'm also in Austin shooting my special.
Dallas at Hyenas.
Fort Worth.
Huntington
Beach. I'm shooting my special May 22nd. Albuquerque, the 1000th episode of Tinfoil Hat, Lawrence, Kansas, Tulsa, and then finally Austin. So you were talking about the woman. What is this mythos you wanted to talk about? There are two of them, the Dulce Base mythos and the Tal Levesque. I butchered that, but
Tal Levesque.
Tal Levesque. I tried, dude. I tried.
You got it. So how I got interested in this Bennewitz thing really started with this guy, Tal Levesque. He's quite a mysterious and unusual character. He, so we're talking like 2008. I get an email from this fellow, and I didn't know who he was at the time, but he said He was working on a series called Mysterious Mariposa, like a paranormal television series. And I think he was contacting me at that time. I belonged to a Central California Fortean group just to pick my brain. And he said he had also been involved with that show UFO Hunters as a producer of the Underground Base episode. So I thought, okay, this guy sounds interesting. But I was, I wanted to find out before I contacted him if he was legit. And I knew Bill Burns, he did the UFO Hunters series, and he said, yeah, that's Tal Levesque. He knows things. And so we eventually had breakfast together, and I met him. And quite a character. And he went on about how he's kind of a man behind the scenes. He was involved in releasing what were called the Dulce papers, which I can talk about in a minute. And I asked him how he came to Mariposa. And he said he was not on a kind of advanced recon there for Dan Aykroyd. And you guys still with me?
Yeah, we're listening.
Oh, okay.
We're listening, which we never do on this show, by the way.
Okay. So, and what Aykroyd was up to, Tal said he had worked as a producer on a Sci Factor, a series that Aykroyd had in Canada for a period of time, like in the 90s. And what he was doing was going out and finding what he called a safe. They were looking for a safe haven. If all the coming earth changes came, and California was underwater, Mariposa was supposed to be an island that would make it through those earth changes. And so what the plan was, Aykroyd had designed to start a House of Blues in Mariposa, and Tal was looking at this area because he's into inner earth and caverns and these type of things. And there was a limestone cavern running from the Bay Area to Mariposa where they could set up a shuttle system so Aykroyd and his crew could travel to the House of Blues. It all sounds totally nutty, but like with a lot of stuff Tal told me, there was some nugget of truth there. I know that I talked to other people. Tal was good friends with Peter Aykroyd, who was Dan Aykroyd's brother. So a lot of times, parts of what Tal, crazy stories Tal would tell me, there's some element of truth there. Whether the Aykroyd thing was true or not, I don't know. We tried to contact him for the movie, but didn't have any luck. But if you're out there, Dan,
And is there any
let us
part
know. We're still willing to talk.
that you think that Dan could be part of a psyop? Ghostbusters. That was a big thing, and everyone's suddenly into ghosts. I remember I went 5 times to the movie theaters to watch Ghostbusters. I loved it so much as a kid.
movie.
That's the one you've seen the most at the theater?
That's probably the movie by far. I don't think I've ever been to a movie theater twice to see a movie since then. But I just kept going back to watch Ghostbusters. I thought it was so amazing. But here you are. Maybe there's some revelation of the method. They're exposing people to these ideas of paranormal and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what Tal eventually admitted to me. But let me tell you a little bit more about the story, the Dulce papers. But she was responsible with, this was 89, he sent out 100 packets to all these researchers with these Dulce papers in there. And in a nutshell, what they claimed were some of the stuff that came out of the Bennewitz affair, that there was a secret underground base in Dulce. And you can go online and find the Dulce papers. It's like 10 pages of hand drawings, and the story that basically there's a secret underground base, human alien treaty with the military, and that basically the treaty was an exchange. The aliens would share their technology with us, and we would produce human subjects for them to do experiments on, all the alien hybrid crazy stuff. And so at one point there was a lot of these security workers, specifically the security worker named Tom Costello. They had a revolt against the aliens. There was this battle, which was called the Dulce War, where 66 humans died, and the only one who escaped was this Tom Costello character, and he passed along these Dulce papers. Now, long story short, I always suspected that was basically a composite character, this Tom Costello, that was based on Tal Levesque and Paul Benowitz. Paul Benowitz in 1981, he was writing about, he put together this Project Beta report that said there had been some type of confrontation at this underground base, and the military had to abandon it. And that was kind of the seed for a lot of these stories, misinformation, disinformation, what have you, that was later spread with the Dulce papers, which at the time it's kind of a big thing in ufology for a couple of years. And Tal Levesque sent out these different packets of information, so other researchers picked up on it and started putting their own spin on the Dulce stories. So it looked like other people confirming the story, and so people started taking it seriously. And there was a guy named Phil Schneider who emerged like in the early 90s, who became kind of a big star on the UFO circuit. And he also, repurposed the same story, claiming that he had been part of this battle at Dulce Base or Area 51, where he had these encounters with the ETs. They used like the same story with Area 51 when that became a thing, that there had been an underground battle there. There was aliens in captivity, that Majestic 12 was involved with the facility. So it's kind of the same boilerplate that gets used over and over in a lot of these stories that later, led to, once again, the mythology you saw in the X-Files and whatnot. And over the years, I kept asking Tal, was Tom Costello a real guy, or was this? I suspected he was this composite character, and Tal always denied, no, he was a real guy, until ultimately he told me that he admitted coming up with the story with a few other people, and basically he was, what he told me, that he's part of this group who are trying to steer the narrative in a new direction, away from the old boring nuts and bolts UFO craft stories prior to the 80s, and bring in all these science fictional type elements, and alien reptilians and all these secret bases and that type of stuff.
That is so crazy, dude. Now, was one of the guys you were talking about about underground crafts and battles and stuff like that? Was he the gentleman that lost part of his hand? Was he one of that? Was that Phil?
Yes. That was Phil Schneider. And he seemed to, he picked up on this story from the people who were pushing the Dulce papers, one of whom was a guy named John Lear. I don't want to throw too many names at you, but Schneider picked up on this. And if you look, you can see some of his, and we showed in the film some of his speeches. He became a pretty big deal. He'd show his missing fingers that he claimed the aliens shot up. He'd pull up his shirt and show this long scar he had. But, as it turns out, people started looking into his background, and the story didn't add up that he had ever worked for the government. And in recent times, we've come across FOIA information that showed he had mental problems. He claimed that he had contracted cancer from radiation from working in these underground facilities. But what these FOIA documents showed from, it's like the late 60s, 70s, that this is kind of a wild thing too. He had been to a bar or something. He met some guy who had some rocks that were basically contaminated with radiation. I forget what they were, the material, and he took these rocks home and put them under the bed and got radiation sickness from them.
Whoa!
That's what?
That is crazy.
Yeah, and he was a self-mutilator. That he had mental problems, so that's why he was missing.
He's a cutter,
his finger.
dude.
Yeah, and so, but he was a great speaker. Very convincing. Just to watch some of the videos with him, it's pretty compelling, man.
It's so crazy.
And believable,
That's so crazy because I see that guy's video all the time. They're constantly, it's always going viral of him giving some speech at some conference in a grainy picture with his
going off on Janet Reno, that bitch.
So this brings me up into the missing 911 and all that stuff. What is your thoughts on that? Because there's a lot of similarities to this story. The bases made deals with aliens, technology for humans, guinea pig. That's a big part of the missing 911, which also leads into Project High Jump, the Admiral Byrd going to Antarctica, it was, I'm so blessed I get to go on the road with Eddie Bravo and I get his take. And he was talking about Admiral Byrd when we were going to Bakersfield, about Admiral Byrd and being a Freemason and is his job to promote a certain narrative, aliens and stuff like that. Do you have any thoughts on, have you heard about the missing 911? Does this fit into this kind of like AstroTurf story about aliens and technology and human guinea pigs?
Missing 911, there's the, is that the stories connected with Bigfoot?
Yeah, that's the belief that there is that I think Truman or Eisenhower made a deal with the Nazi aliens. Byrd goes down there, gets, he meets aliens and Nazis, and they're like, dog, we could totally wipe you out right now, or you can just take us to your leader. And he's like, we'll go to the leader. So he brings him to the leader. Let's do that. And the leader is like, hey, they're like, this is how we're going to do it. We can make a deal with you. We'll give you we'll give you technology. In turn, you have to give us humans to do anything we want with them. And they made a deal that you can do that, but you can't just take them off the street. You got to, you can use the force. Anyone lost in the force, you can take them. And this is where it gets, this is part of why the national forest maybe is left alone. And that if you go too deep in, it gets layers and layers and layers of stuff.
Right.
But is your thoughts any of that kind of line of information is most likely a psyop?
I'm dubious about some of that information because I saw some of the books by that Pallades. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah. I'm highly dubious of what that guy is pushing. I got one of his books that deals with the area I'm in, Central California. And, just one of the cases there I knew a lot about, and how he was presenting it was inaccurate without going into all the details. So, I'm pretty dubious about him, but can I, go off in the direction of this Eisenhower thing? And
I'd love to hear that.
Secret agreement. It's part of this Bennewitz story, because I'm talking about documents that were being put out that might have been hoaxed or whatnot. And this Bill Moore guy, he wrote the book, The Roswell Incident in 1980, that has to do with the Roswell story. There was a crash there. They had alien bodies. The government swooped in, took it to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, the whole deal. Moore wrote about that in 1980. Then I was talking about that Aquarius paper earlier.
Yeah,
where
the Aquarius paper, yeah.
It had the mention of Majestic 12. And so in 1983, Moore and his research partner, lo and behold, on their doorstep one morning came some undeveloped film, and they developed it, and that's the MJ12 papers were on it, which basically said that, there was this, they call it the Eisenhower briefing document, and it was these documents to brief Eisenhower is going to come in as a president then about the secret program basically dealing with the ET situation. And in that so the MJ12 papers also confirmed the Roswell story. But, once again, there's some oddities. This group, Majestic 12, they came up in the Aquarius papers that had surfaced a couple of years before these MJ12 documents showed up. And all of these documents kind of confirmed Bill's Moore story in his book, the Roswell incident that was in 1980. So some of this might have been, Moore might have had a hand in it too, if basically using these phony documents to confirm his story, which may have not been true either.
Dude, how deep does it go? How deep does the deception go? And
we're still going.
Yeah, I mean, so the question becomes: is the deception to why would they be using so much deception in the UFO world? Is it that there's so much going on, Project Bluebeam, and whether that's real or not, aliens versus angels and demons, that stuff, the notion that if we believe in aliens, there's something so powerful that we all have to come together, which is Project Bluebeam, but also this kind of learned helplessness that comes with, aliens are so powerful. What are we going to do?
Don't forget the water aliens. They're coming out of the water.
The water aliens.
Oh yeah, right.
But the point is that there's something so powerful that we have no chance against them. And if the government is behind that, then ultimately the government is so powerful. And if you just train us forever to believe that there's something out there, like, it's like Godzilla with Tokyo. If you believe that Godzilla is so powerful, what can Tokyo do? They just got to submit at that point. So what do you think is your belief on why there is so much deception in the UFO community?
I think there's multiple agendas. First, there's the one I was talking about before with the Bennewitz affair, that whole situation. But then there's other aspects. I'm sure you guys are familiar with To the Stars Academy.
Yes.
Tom DeLonge, that whole thing.
Yes, that was, that reeked right when it started, dude. I mean, that was a psyop gone bad right out the gate.
Why, you wouldn't think they'd let the guy from Blink 182 be the main guy?
I mean, if you had to pick anyone, is it Blink 182?
Oh, you would have picked Linkin Park instead?
I mean, I wouldn't even pick, I don't know who I would pick, but it wouldn't be Blink 182.
So check it out. When that whole thing came to public consciousness with the WikiLeaks deal.
Yes.
Where it came out that Tom DeLonge, he was he's trying to get something going. He's contacting John Podesta, who is Hillary's campaign manager. Supposedly, he does have an interest in UFOs. And he said in the emails, I guess his first email, that he had, this is DeLonge talk, and he'd been in contact with this major or no, I forget his rank. I think General McCaslin. He's the guy who recently ended up missing. That's another story.
Oh, really?
We'll get there in a second. But McCaslin, according to DeLong, told he brought up the Roswell story that at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base they had the remains. So it's like they're using the same thing again. And also, I heard during that same time period, Billy Corgan had been approached with the same story, but he didn't run with it, So they were looking for somebody to be their front man in the form of Tom DeLong. But yeah, that's the other angle of this story. Now, recently, this McCaslin guy comes up missing. They still haven't found him. It's been several days now.
Yes, and I feel that should be a bigger story, but
yeah.
And nobody's talking about because the world is so crazy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just gone, huh?
So he was in charge of what?
Well, he was. I'd have to pull up the article. He seemed like
Advanced technology or something like that.
Yeah,
something along
that
the
sounds
lines
right.
of that. Maybe sprinkling some extraterrestrial in there. A little dash of that.
So what, are they leaning with disappearance, just murder,
they
suicide?
can't find him.
No body, no nothing?
They can't find him.
No, it's like Savannah Guthrie's mom. Yeah,
that story. I guess we don't care anymore.
He was missing from the Albuquerque area, so I don't know if he had an association with Kirtland Base, but yeah, it's awfully damn weird.
It's super weird. But I forgot that Tom DeLong emailed Podesta.
This McCaslin guy, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Podesta.
Yeah, that's nuts. How did Blink-182 meet this guy? Was his daughters love his music? They're like, okay, I'll talk to you, but you gotta sign a guitar for my kids.
Looking for somebody, they've had a connection with youth or whatever. We talk about that's where I was getting to with motivations. Okay, why were these guys? And there was these ex-spooks involved, and some of these, like I say, there's a through line that goes back with some of these characters to the Bennewitz affair. But one thing they're trying to do, with To the Stars Academy, if you go look at when they rolled it out to the public, they were going to do, research for one on ETs, but also they'd have a entertainment arm. They'd produce books, movies, and also a spacecraft. They said they were going to, and they started taking on investors. Shit never really went anywhere, but so part of it is, different defense industry contracts. A lot of these people are involved with those as well. And so if you can keep the specter, you're talking about fear of different things, demonic forces or whatever. If you keep a strong military, I guess that's, another angle to the story.
Yeah, Shadow in the Cave. I mean, the oldest story ever told. You've brought up the Majestic 12 a couple times. Is it your belief that was real, or is that another psyop on top of the plane crashing and, the UFO crashing and all that stuff? Do you think that was real, that really exists, held power, they were actually doing what we were told they were doing? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm dubious. There might be a group by that name. But I think it was something that was constructed by the guy I mentioned before, Doty, and maybe Bill Moore was involved with the MJ-12. That there was eventually, it looked like a document that confirmed the existence of Majestic 12 that was found once again by Bill Moore and his colleague. They went to the National Archives and pulled out, it's called the Cutler Twining Memo. You might have heard about it before. And supposedly that proved that MJ-12 existed. But when people later looked into it and they talked to the National Archives, it goes, we had no record of that document. And according to Moore, when they found the document in between two folders, like nobody had ever seen it before, but it sounds like the document was actually planted in the National Archives, once again, to prove this story about Majestic 12, the secret group.
Well, this is a very famous story about Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper worked for the Navy, and forever he's talking about aliens, and then one day he just goes, "Oh, dude, this is a psyop too. They gave me those documents, so I would talk about those documents."
Cooper was involved with this cast of characters. He and Tal Levesque knew each other, so a lot of the story he was repeating was pretty much the same. I mean, he had kind of different names for some of the things, but it was basically, this secret treaty between the military and the aliens, on and on. But then later, he came to believe that it was a psyop that ran on him, and he no longer believed, the ET stories were true, that it was, like you said, basically this psyop, or that the government was using. There's also another interesting document floating around at that time by a guy named Martin Cannon called The Controllers, and basically what he put forward in that was that alien abductions was basically a cover for MK Ultra operations.
Hello, yeah. I've heard that as well. There's this whole theory too that cryptid stuff, like this kind of creature, that kind of creature, was a front for when elites would kidnap children and do all that stuff. So, wow. Wow. That is crazy. Now, please don't ruin my Christmas. Do you think Bill Cooper was controlled up?
No.
That was a cliffhanger right there, dude. That was like,
well,
I was freaking out.
I don't know for sure, man, but I think he marched to the sound of his own drummer.
Respect on that. So after, we're not going to keep you much longer. This has been an absolute amazing episode. When you look at all the stuff that you have seen, does it make you believe that aliens don't exist? And that it's really the government? Or do you think this is a psyop to push us down a road that leads us nowhere, when there's actually a road that leads us to whatever the truth is?
Recording in progress.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
That's a hell of a question.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Well, that's the big question. I definitely think, the narrative's been manipulated. There are actually alien visitations to this planet. It's possible, but well, no. I had a weird UFO encounter on LSD once upon a time, where I thought I actually saw. This happened in 1979, and a friend and I, long story short, we're at a party, took some acid, pretty heavy, coming on. And this was the period of Close Encounters and the Third Kind and all that stuff. So we wanted to believe. And so we got away from the party house. Hey, let's go walk on the ditch bank. We can get away from kind of in suburbia. And right before we got to the ditch bank, I said, what if we saw a UFO right now? Nobody believed us. We started laughing somewhat uncontrollably. Then like 15 minutes later, we saw our first UFO.
And what'd you see?
We saw about 8 different things, and the first one was your classic saucer-shaped thing. Then we saw a cigar shape. Then it got crazier and stupider. One that had a multicolored propeller. And we saw like 8 or so of these different things. It was almost cartoonish to a point, and we got to the should mention the first one we saw, it had such an impact. I fell to one knee, and so we're walking along describing what we're seeing, and we're describing the same thing to each other. So were we having a dual hallucination? Were we influencing each other? Some type of telepathy stuff that was going on in our minds. So this is totally true story. I'm not making this up. So we walk about 1.5 miles, and we saw our last UFO. It came down like a comet that disappeared, and we saw the last ship. We turned around and got to the point where we saw the first UFO. We were like 50 yards from that, and a beam came down from the sky where we had been standing, where we saw the first UFO. I don't know what all of that meant, actually, but that was the experience that got me interested in this stuff. When I first had this experience, I thought for sure it was ETs, But then over time, you start investigating these things. I read the book about demonic entities, or about a year later, go, whoa, shit, was that what was going on? Then I got exposed to other stuff, like the John Keel super spectrum theory I was talking about before. If you put your mind, perhaps you're on psychedelics or in a meditative state, it can put you in a state of mind where you could see things that you normally can't see. I think ultimately, nowadays what I experienced was some type of phenomena of the mind but I can't say for sure, but
I think that has a lot to do with like the notion of Gnosticism, is that you can create your reality.
Yeah, and that's the thing when I was saying I mentioned, what if we saw some UFOs right now? Nobody would believe us, so it planted that seed, it was like a magic ritual or something, unwitting thing that we set in motion that was combined with the drugs. And my buddy, we're real good friends, had a simpatico with us, wrote music together, that kind of thing. So you had that element there, and the perfect storm for a weird acid trip.
Yeah. So I want to end on this. When we first started the show's 9 years old, and we're almost at our 1,000th episode. And
right on.
Thank you. We really do appreciate that. And in December we'll be 10 years old. And when this show first started, I was doing shows, like some of my premium content for my Patreon at the time, and then Rockfin. And I got an email, and it was like usnavy.org. And I was like, why am I getting an email from the U.S. Navy? And it said, go down the rabbit hole, right?
Just that?
Oh, wow.
And I've told a story a long time ago. It's been a long time since I've told a story. So I opened it, and it was basically the beginning of like what would become known as Q. And they were giving me like drops.
I swear, I every time you tell this, I'm like, did I do this? To Sam as a prank. I can't remember. I feel like something inside me is like, did I do that? I'm not sure, but it's possible that I like saying.
Hold on. Are you confessing right now?
Yeah, the CIA FBI guy.
But why would that even be in your thought that you did that?
I just, something in my head
I don't even think you were on the show yet.
It would be hilarious if I did that. But I don't know. Maybe not. I just, every time you say that, I have this thought like, did I send Sam like a weird?
It was so you could create a usnavy.org email?
Not, yeah, that part's weird. Yeah, I don't. Maybe not.
It literally was like US, and then it had a rabbit at the bottom.
Well, no, I wouldn't have put a rabbit in it. No, I wouldn't have done that. No.
It had a rabbit at the bottom.
No, I didn't do that. No.
Of the email. It was very weird to me, dude.
That is weird.
And it was like done through like not emojis, but like dot line, dot.
I didn't do that.
To form a rabbit. And when I listen to you and the stuff you're saying, it's like, was that somebody in the
Oh,
government
interesting, yeah.
trying to drag me into being a cure.
You say that was 10 years ago?
I'd say
was-
that was probably right when when Trump was starting to run. Like this show basically started when Hillary kneecapped Bernie Sanders, and I just ended an old show, and I was just talking to everybody about how crazy that was. I'm like, I should do a conspiracy show. I've always loved conspiracy since I was a kid. And it started out as talking to comedians, and then real people like yourself started coming on, and I was like, wow, I mean, this is a lot more than I expected it to be. But
they might have been trying to recruit you into being a
that's what I think.
What's crazy
dude.
promoter.
is who else did they send it to?
I don't know. Nobody ever
like
told
you
me.
said,
Did you reply?
No.
No.
I was like, what am I going to do with this? What does this mean? And then the Q stuff
pretty crazy.
started dropping, and that's why I'm like, whoa, that's like that email I got. Isn't that nuts, dude? That is nuts. Man, Adam, this was a fire episode, dude. So did anything else happen to Bennewitz before the end, before they threw him in, or was just more of the same? Like any other crazy and final question after that is, what happened to the guy? It's like, yeah, I was working for the government to track people in the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Was he ever seen again? Did he show up at another one? Everyone beat his ass? Like, what happened?
So I mentioned the one at the UFO conference in '89 where he basically spilt the beans. And you talked about Bill Cooper was there at that conference. You can hear, if you can find a videotape of it. Sometimes it shows up on YouTube. Bill Cooper's in the background yelling at him because he was one of the people who got duped.
Oh, really?
And so
whoa,
more basically kind of left ufology, disappeared for a while, then he showed up a few years later and then disappeared again, one of those type of things. He's still around. I know somebody who knows him, but so yeah, he's basically gone from the field.
I wonder, I mean, obviously he had to stop working for the FBI, whoever, after he confessed that, but I wonder what they told him after. Like, yo, you weren't supposed to tell these people that. We could have been running this fucking...
He reminds me of Dan Bongino going back to podcasting.
Oh, yeah, truly.
He's like, yeah, forget what happened. I'm back.
Who do you...
Well, I think the operation was basically over at that point, and he was no longer working with them, and maybe they gave him the okay to say what he did, you know.
Is there anyone now that you think that's prominent in that field that is maybe on the same lines?
Good question.
Not exactly like the people involved in the Bennewitz affair, but I mean, you got these spooky characters around.
Like, what about Stephen Greer? What do you think?
Oh yeah, I don't buy his story per se, but I don't know.
What about it? I'll ask you an easier question to get into. Maybe what about it rings false to you? What doesn't sound right? Because you've talked to so many people who have had, you know more than we do about this. Is really what I'm saying. So what about that rings false? I'm super curious because we felt the same way. I think. But I can't quite say why.
Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness around him. I mean, when he first came out, he's Dr. Stephen Greer. I'm not sure what the doctor was, but he became a prominent figure, and he's calling for disclosure, this and that. Then he becomes a star on the scene, and then he's telling stories about the ETs or talking directly to him, and you can use a flashlight or something to contact them. And I remember he used to show up at UFO conference with his own set of bodyguards. So the whole vibe and aura around him.
That's funny.
I'm with you, man. It just seems weird. I mean, Why is he on Khloe Kardashian's podcast?
Was he? Oh, I didn't see.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm like, why are these two worlds colliding? Stupid, controlled, together, like peanut butter and jelly, And it's just like, what
They've
are
really mainstreamed it, haven't they? The UFO. I mean, they're truly it seems they're preparing us for
But
something.
I just feel that people are so distracted, they don't care. I mean, they keep dropping these bombs. They're like, oh, dude, disclosure could be
Literally.
coming. Everyone's like, oh, my God, the WNBA, are they going to play this year? Like, nobody cares.
The Spielberg movie getting ready to come
Well,
out.
yeah, they warn it out. It's been like since this new wave started in 2017. It's like disclosure is right around the corner. Disclosure is going to happen in 2018, 29. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, the only one that
just show me the aliens.
Yeah. I mean, the only one that popped off was Obama saying that stupid little comment where he believed in aliens.
I
and
was
then-
like, man, I don't know what
Well,
I'm
and
saying
that
there.
popped off more because of what Trump's response, right? To say that
Hey, that's top classified. That's how you know everybody's working together, dude. It's just all pro wrestling. Here's your line. Here's your line. It's like that race where they hand each other the
rally.
Yeah.
batons, right?
the baton. It's all just working together. Adam, awesome show. One more time.
Yeah.
Tell us about your movie. And tell us about your movie and where they can find you.
Did I lose you guys?
No,
Oh,
we're
no,
here,
you
dog.
just brought
He's
up
pulling
the
up your
screen.
We
there.
can't quit you, bro. We can't quit you.
The screen changed on me. I went, oh, fuck, what happened there? So, yeah, we got that Substacks page I'd like to direct people to. And we have a podcast you got to check out. We've done like 3 episodes, and we had a bunch of material left over from the film, so we're going to use it for podcast segments. But, yeah, go to the Substacks, Saucer Spooks and Kooks, and there's a link there for the film. We're distributing it through Vimeo, I think it is.
go back up. Look at Jimmy. Is that Jimmy Savile's eyes? Look at that guy's eyes.
I mean, like, how'd you know?
What a
Here's what
scumbag.
I've learned from the Epstein dumps. If you look like you're a child molester, you probably are a child molester.
I'm not sure what he's doing there. I guess it's on that Substack feed for
you
that
have it.
page. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's basic. I have AdamGorightly.com, and you can find that should take care of things.
Adam, excellent episode. Thank you so much. Do not hang up.
Okay.
Because we got to talk to you real quick. Excellent episode. Thanks for coming on. We had a great time. And please, hang out for the breakdown. All right. What'd you guys think of Adam Gorightly? Fire episode, dude.
It went right. I gotta say,
Did you think it went rightly?
it went rightly, bro.
I love that, dude. That is crazy, bro.
Good mustache too, by the way.
Good mustache.
Solid.
Those stories are crazy, and they happen all the time. All the time.
What do you mean, like people being misled by?
Yeah, misinformation, agents of chaos, people showing up, and then people are like going crazy, and you're like,
Well, it used to. You know what's interesting is that it used to require them to carefully select an influencer, like who actually could reach a lot of people. Now it's just you get it on social media and it's in the wind.
I think it's happening now where someone's going to be like, dude, remember that guy that went on Rogan? He was actually intelligent and they were beaming shit into his head. And we'll talk about
there
it.
was somebody like that recently, right? Like,
no, the craziest
There was
one's the guy who
allegations
went on Rogan and talked about crime reform and then went and murdered somebody.
really? No, I haven't.
That's the craziest
No, I
one.
don't know
You
about
didn't
that.
hear about that? So
No,
yeah,
no.
you know how those people he has what is it, like people that get the wrongfully convicted?
Oh, yeah,
the
the
wrongfully
Innocent Project,
convicted.
yeah.
Yeah, for Innocent
I give
Project.
money to the Innocent Project.
Yeah.
Should I not do that, Johnny?
I've done that. I don't think
I give a monthly thing.
So
I still believe in
so he has one of
Tino's
those people
trying
on. He has one of the
red
people.
pills.
One of the
Tito's gonna be texting me, bro. They just get out black people.
So he has one of those people on that's
Love
like
you,
the CEO of the place, and then he has like his like the guy that got wrongfully convicted with them.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
telling his story to Rogan, and he's like, and I got convicted, whoop de whoop, and Rogan's like,
the guy that got off did it, or the attorney?
the guy that got off is there.
No, but who's the one who killed somebody? The attorney or
No, the other guy.
The other
No,
guy.
the other guy.
So
Okay.
yeah,
that's yeah.
so he comes on.
It's a bad look. It's like Stephen Avery, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like either it's the biggest coincidence in history, or you're a scumbag.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so
Anyways, while Johnny figures out what he
It
wants to
makes
say.
me think of like that Bustamante character. We talked about him on BS.
Yeah.
Like demanding to go on Rogan. Like, I can't believe Rogan has me on.
Yeah.
And when he's a known op, like it couldn't be more obvious that
Yeah,
he's
and
an
it's
op.
just like
He
the
was a spy,
idea
and now
that
he's
you
more a
are
spy.
owed to go on Rogan.
Yeah.
And that is
So
like,
gross.
that's the ring from Lord of the Rings, and it drives people nuts. I've seen people lose their minds because
Entitlement.
Dr. Shiva went, the fucking asshole won't have me on his show. I was like, okay, Shiva.
Shiva
Chill
Aya
out.
do-rag?
Yeah.
And then don't forget.
Where's he been, dude? Like,
he
I
disappeared.
haven't seen him at all.
Don't know. He's probably just telling more people he dated Fran Drescher.
Don't forget.
I used to give the hot curly to friend.
Also, don't forget Bishop Larry Gators. He had 1 billion.
Could we
views.
forget Bishop Larry?
I would like to get him back on. I should.
By the way,
reach
the
out.
iHeart network, which just he had 100 million listeners on, they just did podcast awards. What the? Where's our nominations?
Are we
So
even
pissed.
on there?
I don't know. I think it's just all podcasting.
Or
there.
why didn't
But it's
he
always
win?
it's always liberals.
Oh, and women. It was like
Yeah,
hot
it's
chicks. It was
like
a
the
parade of
greatest
hot chicks.
podcast of all time award goes to 2 Chicks, 1 Cup. And then it's like,
God, remember how those were simpler times, weren't they?
I gotta defend them. iHeart just
who,
gave
2 Chicks, 1
No, I always gotta defend
Yeah,
them.
of course.
No, but iHeart gave Breaking Points an award.
Why is that to you like a point for them?
No, because it's
pretty mainstream,
not
right?
part. No, I mean it's not part of iHeartRadio, and
Yeah.
they started off with Rogan
Yeah.
and stuff, and they're pretty
When
in the
they
middle.
go higher side chats, I'll realize that
Yeah,
they're real.
dude, look. Yeah, hold on, I can't share this over to you. Look, I'm gonna.
You probably looked up the iHeart.
Just Google iHeart Podcast Awards 2026, and then it's like a press release from iHeart is the first result.
And Johnny, Broken
And
Sin
look at
didn't
the
even
picture.
get a nominate. We're the second best comedy podcast in the world, according to one guy.
Yeah, according to that guy. Yeah.
One guy. Johnny, will you find that real quick so we can look at it?
Talking about this
no,
one?
No. Did you Google it? Just Google it.
Yeah.
Just Google iHeart Podcast Awards 2026.
Don't go to the page. Just Google.
Like literally, and then the Google results, it'll be the first thing that comes up.
Okay, look how he spelled heart.
I
Awards what?
don't have it up. iHeart Podcast Awards 2026.
Podcast awards.
Let me see if it's.
Fucking retard.
Yeah, you are,
Go
dude.
Go down to the results though.
Which one is it?
Yeah, it's that first thing right
That
there.
first one?
Yeah. Look at that. No, look at the picture. Those are your winners right there. I mean, we had no chance. Look at
Who are they?
No idea. It's just a black chick, a hot chick.
It's
and
like,
then
look at
a
the
guy
new
chick,
Avengers, everybody.
and then some guy that looks like he's like
Go
jealous
down.
of Scott Baio. I don't
Yeah,
know.
go down. The top award. Oh, dude.
The
Call Me
Breakfast Club.
Daddy's always there. Look,
Theo
look at-
Von got on. That boy Theo's mainstream, isn't he?
Yeah,
Pablo
I mean,
Torre, of course.
Like again, look who's not
The
there.
rest is
Joe
history is
Rogan,
good.
Pablo Torres finds it. The Wigger Giggly Squad, the chick who fucking ripped off fucking Kim Condon. Go fuck yourself.
The rest is history is the one thing I'll attest.
go
to
up,
there.
go up. Who
Very good.
go up? Well, Handsome's great. It's
Wait, how is it said Theo Von was nominated, but not for comedy? What was he nominated for?
best podcast. I
Best
guess you
pod.
couldn't do
Overall?
both.
Okay.
Both.
Podcast of the year. We got to nominate ourselves for this. I'm
Crime
not above doing it.
Junkie. Like I love that only one podcast. Imagine if you were the only one nominated and you lost.
That would be terrible. They love fucking Call Her Daddy, don't they?
They love that shit.
that shit.
Yeah.
I know women that were.
Go
just
find best conspiracy
cuckoo for it.
podcast. Let's see how that's doing on.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah. That category doesn't.
It's fiction. They have fiction.
It'll be Shane Dawson or whatever his name. That guy that used to YouTube, that kind of does like light-hearted
Oh yeah,
conspiracies.
who
Shane
was
Dawson, right?
was
Yeah.
hitting up underage
Yes.
kids.
Yes, that guy. Yeah.
Best ad read?
Whoa, wow. You got a best ad read
Fuck
award.
off.
Fuck off.
Ad read.
Show me anybody better than our Blue Chew ad. I dare you.
By the way, you were talking earlier.
All right, this is trash. If Ben Shapiro was
look
on the
at the
list.
list,
Yeah,
you
I'm sorry.
dumbass.
My bad.
Ben
Sorry,
Shapiro.
I didn't
Dumbass.
check.
is all-
Dumbass.
This is so. You were talking earlier about how you have to be careful how you talk around people who aren't like us. And my girl, sometimes when I'm just joking with, I disagree with her or something, I'll just say, "Oh, fuck off," and she gets so offended, dude. She's thinking, "What did you?" F- You and I'm like,
You're like, oh, that's how I talk to my
yeah,
friends. I'm sorry.
It's still
Right?
now though, even after all these years, if I say that, she reflex breaks me off.
Yeah, girls hate that shit.
Yeah.
They're like, I want to be your best friend. Okay, faggot.
yeah.
What? What? Why?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I go to my events? Go to my dates? I don't know what just happened. Go to my date. I'm going to be in Batavia tomorrow night. Raleigh, Atlanta, Hamilton, Toronto, Dallas, Fort Worth, Huntington Beach, Austin, Albuquerque. 1000th episode's coming up. Sold out. Sorry, guys. Lawrence, Tulsa, and then back at Austin. Also, if you go to Word War Debate, go to wordwardebate.com. It's coming, dude. Hopefully this week we'll have, or last week we would have known if we got some big news. Hopefully it's coming out.
Oh,
and
really?
then Word War Debate Contender Series. We should. It's probably starting. It started on Sunday, so I think it started on the 22nd. That's why I think it is. If not, you can watch it live on the internet. It's gonna blow up. We're going hard in the paint. Hard in the paint, dude. Hard in the paint. Yep. And that's it, dude. Let's fucking go. SamTribute.com. My premium content, I tell you all the time about. I will put it up against any premium content, conspiracy content out there.
What about Ben Shapiro's content?
Well,
You
I
gonna put up
mean,
against
yeah, it's better. I'm
Award-winning?
going to go on a limb and say it's better. Award nominee Ben Shapiro. Unbelievable, dude. When you were in the room, like, what about Ben Shapiro? Come on, really? He's Jewish. Okay, put him on there, dude. Whatever this is, Austin Picard, Brad Binkley, who is opening for me in Atlanta. Okay.
Hey, someone hit me up. They want you to make their thumbnails. How do they contact you for thumbnail work?
Shut the fuck up. That's so mean, dude.
I think they're good. I think they're good.
I think they're good too. I think they're fire.
They're surprisingly
Hey,
good.
what's wrong with this one though, Johnny? You said he's
Well,
not
it just
attacking the guy.
doesn't- I mean, he's cheating toward the camera, isn't he? He's
Yeah,
not
it's
looking at
called
the guy.
it's called working the camera, Johnny.
Yeah.
You don't know how. Maybe I can only shoot it sideways.
That happens sometimes. You go to pee and it
Cash
just goes the
Daddies,
wrong. You
talk
ever
to
do
me.
that? You just start peeing and it's just like, I'm going to go over there.
Do you ever take a shit, have to pee, but you're rock hard, so you push it down, and then you look down, you're pissing blood? You ever done that? Johnny, tell us about Cash Daddies.
That was horrifying.
It's happened. That's not a joke.
horrifying.
Twice. Talk to me about Cash Daddies.
Oh, that would scare the shit out of me if I
yeah,
pissed blood.
I mean, you don't even like shitting, so that would be awful for you.
Pissed blood? No, it's the
What are you?
pissing blood.
What are you? A Tool song? Piss blood and come on, mud.
Tool is so dark. So dark.
They are
dude.
so dark, but they're so good.
They had so
You're
much
like,
dark
oh,
humor.
not today, Satan.
Yeah, my best friend was
Okay, go
obsessed with
back.
her.
Cash Daddies is great. Johnny's lost in my King Blood story.
you got me. I have to say, Cash
Okay,
Daddies is-
just because
is where
I'm
it's at.
pissing blood.
Go make some money.
Keep
at
going
Cash Daddies.
down. I will have news for you on the Chaos Twins very soon.
Promise.
Go check out Tinfoil Hat t-shirts. They're the best. It's a great way. I get my news. I got a couple new ones coming. Buy gold and silver from Wise Wolf, gold and silver, Wolfpack Gold, Mineral King, hydrogen brown gas, Harley Ray. We love them. Wonderful human beings with great candles, crystals, sage, chemical-free body. I take it all the time. You should too. Joel Staley, if you want to lose those tits, okay. EMF rocks. Get rid of that dirty electricity. Prometheus, if you want a decentralized website, and then Brain Supreme, anything.
Check out my podcast, Extreme Marks the Spot, please. I go solo dolo on Fridays.
Solo dolo.
Me, just streaming it.
What does
Did you
dolo
make up
mean?
a word dolo?
Or is that a word in Spanish?
Dolo means
No,
something?
solo dolo, just me by myself.
Is that what that
Yeah, no
means?
co-host, just me.
Does that mean
No,
something in Spanish?
no.
So dolo?
No.
No, chili? Then why would they tune in?
Dude, it's just me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just here for the
You
fat
should get some
rack.
titty implants.
What
actually.
size? What size?
You should just go double D's.
Double D's?
And watch our numbers go up.
Could you do the podcast with me? With my big
Yeah,
old
I'd be
titties
like
next to you?
throwing up in my
Okay, guys,
mouth.
I gotta ask you something. As far as you know, has anyone done the tattoo to get on BS?
Oh.
Because someone has asked me.
Nobody's
A
done it
woman.
yet.
A
Nobody-
you
woman.
remind
You
it-
haven't heard of anybody.
Can you
Okay.
remind everybody what we're talking about?
No, because I can't remember.
The tattoo.
I can't remember what it was going to be. No, I thought about it the other day and I can't remember.
What was the
I can't
tattoo
fucking
going to
remember.
be?
I don't know. But somebody contacted me about it and said that they wanted to do it, but they
Just
wanted to
ask
make
him
sure.
what the podcast, what was it supposed to be? It was something going to be
Shit, if I
something
know.
ridiculous.
I can't remember. I was hoping you guys would.
Yeah, I
remember,
think you
honestly.
should. If anyone gets where is?
What was it? That I get my
Bumfardo.
news from Sam Tripoli. Was that what it was?
Oh yeah. If you get that little guy,
yeah. that
Yeah,
little-
just a little guy. Yeah, you're right. You don't have to get the thing.
You should get my news from Sam Tripoli.
No, I want the whole thing. That's
Hey,
yeah.
do you remember when people were getting tattoos at Skankfest?
Yeah,
That was
I
so
got
cool.
one.
I know.
Says Ronin.
That was a
remember-
whole.
What did that guy get tattooed on him?
Do you know one of my
Punch Drunk?
cousin's friends got a tattoo of me with a tinfoil hat on?
Really?
As a skull? And she's like, "You see my new tattoo?" He's like, "Is that my cousin?"
That's dark. That's a
tight.
skull. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
was
like- you're
because
dead.
I put out a picture of that.
Oh, it's something that you put out. Remember that? What was that guy, Matt Devlin? I'll never forget his name because he got that punch drunk tattoo. What did it say on it? What did it? It was something horrible. It was like my faggot or something.
No, it's something like "I love BBC" or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
something like that. Yeah.
Dude, let the guy like BBC, Johnny. Why is that horrible?
No, it's not horrible. I'm glad
believe
for it.
you're
No,
judging.
what do you mean? I remember his name. I love the guy. He did that just to. We had a guy roll a hot dog on the bathroom floor at Walmart and eat it to get into fantasy. Those were the glory days of Punch Drunk.
These are the good old days.
We should do one of those some year.
Dude, I remember watching you, like hearing you guys, and you guys would talk about the bag, the hat, what
bag
was
of
it?
bets,
The bag
yeah.
of bets. I was like, dude, I do not want friends like that.
Which
They
it
sounded
has
like
been
fun,
located.
but it sounded like fun.
By
at
the
same
way,
time.
fun fact, I did all my bag of bets. I was the only one.
Is that right, Johnny?
Jason Tebow ruined bag of bets by being a pussy.
In a sense, he did. Yeah. In some vague sense, Sam did do all his bets. Yeah. I mean,
All right.
he would always.
Okay, can I get to the thing I wanted to talk about,
No, I'm
Johnny?
not going to
before
criticize you. I would just say you lawyered your way through the bag of
I
bets.
still did them, though.
Yeah, you did them.
Guys, so I told you this earlier in between the show. I got an email from basically Mr. Beast's company saying that they have picked me as one of their top content creators, and they want to bring me into their.
And it's real.
I'll look at it. I mean, I'll send it to you guys. You guys tell me if you think it's
Because
real.
I was just thinking I sent that one too, maybe. I didn't send that other one, by the way. I wouldn't have done like a drawing or a rabbit or anything. It just sounds like the kind of prank I would have been into around
So,
that
but
time.
what is it? Is this, you're going to be on his channel, or you're going to participate in one of the challenges?
Well, I wouldn't do that. But if there's a shit ton of views out
What
there,
if what happened? Now,
I'll be on their one episode. They're like, "You're not right for us."
Now, are you going to suck his dick or is he going to suck your
I
dick?
mean, I was going to suck it anyways.
Oh, okay.
I didn't need to get on this fucking show.
You wouldn't do one of the challenges
No,
for all that money that he's offering?
you can go. If they ask
Oh,
me,
I'll
I'll
go,
go.
yeah.
You would
Hey, I
be-
got this Mexican with bad knees.
Oh,
You
yeah.
would be
need 'em?
so good on reality. You're not a good actor, as you've said. I'm not talking out of school there, but reality TV, bro, you would be. I would love.
Johnny, why do you think I always make it into every doc
Yeah.
that every time I get brought on a comedy doc, it's like doing a favor to
I'm telling you,
somebody.
we should pitch
and then
your
I
life.
make it. I'm like used the most.
We gotta, dude. I'm telling you, the past 5 years, 10 years of your life, if it was in, it would be the most popular reality show on television.
Yeah.
True. Like, no shit, man. It would be gripping. Now, the question is, and this is where I think it wouldn't work, is that I don't think you'd be open enough to make it work. Like, you'd probably hide things and not.
Yeah, my dick. I don't want anyone to see the size of my dick.
No,
That's
but
why
even, you know,
I
I mean,
didn't
like-
do Survivor.
that
which
why?
is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, so he would be.
Wait,
dude,
if you got offered to do Survivor,
Yeah.
you
yes. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Survivor in the heat days. Like, not like now.
My buddy from high school is the guy who ran it.
and you'd have said no.
No, because I have shrinkage.
Because he doesn't know that it was just one asshole who went naked. That's why you know who he is. He was famous.
Yeah.
He was famous for being naked. Nobody else was naked on the show. Just that one dickhead.
Yeah,
you could, like,
I didn't
cover
want to
your-
be known as fucking
You
baby
bring
dick
clothes.
Tripoli.
Do they have clothes that you wear? You don't. You're
Nobody
not
told me
naked?
that. Then he offered to put me on the Amazing Race with Nodder, and I was like, I don't want to do it.
But would you really? I mean, even then, though, Johnny, would you really do
If you
Survivor?
knew you have shrinkage,
Survivor? Yeah, of course.
You would do it? I don't think I could. It's not like a lot.
Dude, people have seen enough dicks. They know that growers exist.
No, dude, that guy who went and swam in the fucking aquarium at like bass fishing came out with a baby dick, and he just got destroyed.
You gotta fluff it. You gotta.
You're gonna jerk it off while you're waiting. Now
No,
you're getting
man, I can just get a
now
little-
you're getting public masturbation.
I can just get a little thought, you know, and then just.
No,
just
but then
a
What
that
would you
little thought-
think of XG banging Iggy Azalea?
I was thinking of him
and
with
she's
his-
like, "But get a holla pa."
There must have been some. Did anybody ever bone on that show?
Survivor?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Dude, why do you want to bang some granola
I'm
at
just
that
asking
point?
if
There's
they did.
rocks and dirt and animals all
Yeah,
over.
well, that's what I always thought about Lost. Anytime they had like a romantic.
A love
I'm
scene, you're like,
God,
oh,
they
that
must
beef's
stink.
taking a beating, dude.
No, I'm just thinking how much they must stink, all of them.
Yeah, but at some point, everyone stunk and it meant nothing.
Yeah, but they were nose blind to it. I'm not nose. I just came from the modern society.
Johnny, that's your new name, Nose Blind.
nose blind. Yeah.
That's your Marvel comic superhero.
Remember that?
Oh my God, Nose Blind is here. What is his superhero? He can't smell.
Yeah, that's great. The power of not smelling anything. Yeah.
I had a buddy in high school. In college, this giant dude. He was a great guy, and he couldn't smell, and he told you that he could smell bad stink.
So people like fart in his face.
No, like if he was going down in chick and it stank, he said it would start burning his skin.
What?
That's weird. Oh, that's gross.
You and me and Tom.
It's disgusting.
All right, guys. Yeah. So my question is, should I do the Mr. Beast thing? The answer is no. But what do you guys?
Send it to me.
Send
Let
it to
me see
Johnny
what
first.
it is.
Yeah.
Because maybe
Johnny's gonna go around and go, I'll do it.
Maybe no.
There might be some scam.
I produce. I'm the main guy on Broken Sim, the number 2 biggest comedy podcast out there.
No, but I'll look up for you. I'm curious what the terms are. Like if it's full autonomy and they're just throwing money at you to put it on their thing, like that's on.
What if they're like, we just need you to advertise Mr. Beast, and we're like, hi, I want to tell you about our good friends, Mr. Beast Brain Chips.
Because
just put a chip in your brain. All right, back to Tinfoil Hat.
Because we got approached BS, and then they were interested in tinfoil. I'm not going to say the name of the network, but a very popular network that a lot of big podcasts are on. And I had a long call.
Is that Pornhub?
Yeah, Pornhub. That's it. Yeah, it's
getting into podcasts.
It's XTube actually. I didn't want to say it, but and we had a long call, and everything sounded great. And then they got around to this, like, now we do have a problem with some of. We're looking at your titles here. Yeah, and I was just like, okay, dude. If it wasn't even something that, like, they were just looking at the last episode that wasn't even that. It was just like mentioned Epstein or something. Yeah. And I was like, all right, that's how that starts. I mean, if you're doing that on the pitch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what's it going to be like once I've signed something? No way, bro.
Johnny, you should just do a podcast with them. Johnny's him.
I couldn't
do a podcast with Johnny. Johnny would
just do a podcast with Johnny.
You did Quite Frankly, or what was the show? Someone just DM'd me saying they're super excited to watch you on the latest show.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Okay, you haven't done it?
What is that?
I'm gonna do it's a buddy of mine. He's in the Northeast. He does a podcast, and he put out this hilarious
Quite
clip.
Frankly?
Yeah, Quite Frankly. Yeah.
His name's Frank, and he does. He put out a hilarious video that we showed on Doom Scrolling yesterday about how there's this belief that aliens started circumcision because only people who have giraffe dicks over here can steal alien crafts. So they started ripping our dicks out.
What?
Yeah.
What, you like attached to it or something with your foreskin?
I don't know what it is, but only Mr. Snuffleupagus over here can get it.
That's hilarious.
Does your dick in there smell like horchata?
No, you will clean it, Sam.
Oh, what do you do? Get in there?
Enough
Do you
genital.
finger it?
Let's not enough genital smell.
That's why you
talk.
shouldn't have that's why you shouldn't have a boy. You're not going to teach him how
You
to
would
clean
have
it.
gotten fired from Mr. Beast, like right
How
for
would
that. By the way.
how would I teach him how to clean a circumcised?
Oh,
First of all, you don't let him get it circumcised. That is not supposed to happen. And then
I'm
second of
still
all,
doing
you
it.
just teach him how to clean it. You pull it back and you clean it.
I'm
It's
sorry
not-
to say, I'm
it's not
still doing it.
science. It's been.
Are you uncircumcised, Johnny?
I am circumcised. Yeah.
I'm the only.
Of course.
Yeah,
Goyim?
you're the
I'm
only freak on
I'm
the
the only
show.
goyim. I'm the only goyim.
No,
You're the ungoyim.
No, I would be goyim, right?
No, goyim.
Am I cattle? Yeah.
No, well,
yeah,
you're
you
cattle.
would. No, the Jews are all circumcised. Yeah.
Yeah, they want, and then we had to get our dick sucked as babies by rabbis.
Yeah, at the
worst.
bris. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
they
you
just like,
get-
The
you end up with
moil.
herpes.
The moil.
herpes isn't real. All right, enjoy the highlights.
You sweating bullets on that one, huh? Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim. We found out now, I think, who we elected to president, and it turns out it was Ted Cruz. Check this out. This is we voted for Donald Trump, but this asshole is who we got.
So this Canadian piece of shit.
True, yeah, he's a Canadian piece of shit.
Like
No.
I got like, dude, what is? I mean, like, at any point do we go just hey enough with the crazy? Can we rein it in?
Just a little bit.
in Iran.
Hold
You
on,
were
mi amigos.
literally with President Trump the day before the strikes happened. Talk about the conflict in Iran. You were literally with President Trump the day before the strikes happened.
Sounds weird, Johnny.
You're not hearing it? Hold on.
No, I'm hearing it, but I'm hearing an echo. Yeah, mute yourself.
Can you explain to us what the reasoning and the rationale are for this war?
Sure. Look, I urged the president to launch this attack. As you noted, I was with him pretty much the entire day on Friday.
I wasn't on the front lines. I was in the White House.
And so we were on Air Force One. We were flying down to Texas to Corpus Christi at a big event planned in Corpus Christi. So I was on the plane with him. And then he asked me to hop in the Beast, the presidential limo, and it was just the two of us one-on-one. And pretty much the whole time he was asking me what I thought we should do on Iran. And I said, look, I think we should not miss this moment. I think the regime is weaker than it ever has been. And we have an opportunity. If we can collapse this regime, America will be much, much safer. There are very few things on planet Earth that would do more to improve American national security as much as seeing this regime collapse. And he asked me in the Beast, he said, well, look, do you think we should negotiate further? And I said, no. I said, I don't believe they're negotiating in good faith. They are liars. I think the Ayatollah just wants to delay and delay and delay while they rebuild. And I said, as far as I'm concerned, the only deal you should be willing to take is the same deal you offered Maduro. And Trump offered Maduro, if he wanted to leave the country, he could go into exile and he would be allowed to live out the rest of his days if he
we got to punch his wife in the face one time.
And Maduro said no, and I suspect Maduro regrets saying no now. And I said, I could live with that deal for the Ayatollah, to give him and the mullahs the same choice. You can leave and allow a new regime to come to power in Iran, or if you don't leave, the alternative is going to be a less than pleasant.
So
can we just start off by the most annoying thing about Ted Cruz is his T-Rex arms? I mean, he has it's so annoying. He's always like, and I'm just saying, okay, and it's like, how does he wipe his fat ass with those tiny ass arms? How does he reach around far enough to get in his bunghole with those tiny, tiny arms of his?
That's your takeaway.
It's so freaking annoying. I hate it, dude. Every time he talks, he most people this is like bad arm. That's as far as Ted Cruz can go with his fucking arms. I just don't even know. He probably can't even cup his other tit with his arm because it's so short. Okay. It's so annoying to me. It just drives me nuts. Watch the Tucker Carlson. He's like, oh, look how short those tiny arms are.
Right. He's got little chicken wings.
Dude, it's so annoying to me when fat people have short arms, especially fat Zionists.
So there's so much troubling about this. Okay, so it tells you
T-Rex maxing. He's T-Rex maxing.
Despite what the president has told us, he did not know what the hell he was going to do until the very last minute, because he was having this guy in the car with him up until he made the decision to go in. So he hadn't decided. No, there was no resolution about this. It was whoever. It's what they've said about this guy since the beginning, Trump. Whoever has his ear last is who has the most sway over him. And I mean, if it's Ted Cruz, you're getting Ted Cruz. If you voted for Donald Trump, you got Ted Cruz as your president. Congratulations.
I mean, dude, just imagine being Ted Cruz sitting there talking about war when you know during the election he just lit you up so badly.
Yeah.
I mean, just cucked him, dude. Just took him in his little arms, bent him over, and just got knuckle deep in there, dude.
And that's why he trusts him now. He trusts him on Iran because,
dude, listen, he's been inside me and he's a gentle lover. So I trust this guy. He didn't hurt me going so deep.
It's just so, I never liked the president. I have to say, I never had faith in him, but for a while it seemed like maybe he was gonna, just to spite the left, was going to do some really good shit. And I mean, he's pissed. I don't even want to dwell on it. He's just pissed.
So Johnny, this is the whole thing. It's just like, he didn't even know what he was doing, maybe, or this is all prophesized and part of the plan.
It ain't his plan though, dude.
No. I'm not saying it's his plan. I think he's part of the prophecy, and he's just getting pushed along as part of this ridiculous BS that these crazy hockey puck head Jays are pushing on everybody.
See, it was interesting. Jay Dyer he didn't seem to think that they had as much power as you suggest. And
I respect him. He's very knowledgeable on it. But when you see them constantly at the White House with him all the freaking time.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app or check us out at youtube.com/Sam Tripoli.
We back.
Welcome back. No, literally. Welcome back to the #1 podcast in the world. It's your boy XG Marks the Spot. And like always, I got my #1 producer / graphic designer, Chili Millie. What's up, guys? Like I said, stop blaming Chili. This is not her fault. We did not have to do a redo because of her, so stop blaming her. She's just a girl, guys.
Just a girl.
She's just a girl, guys. Like I said, don't forget, guys, real quick mention, I know I keep annoying you guys, but we got a 420 show, Monday the 20th at the Comedy Store main room. Russell Peters, Sam Tripoli, Saul Trujillo, 3 Plates Tommy, me, E-Zone, the whole motherfucking crew is going to be there. Chili's going to be there. Chiclet's going to be there. Hadar's going to be there. It's going to be lit. Feel we don't smoke the same fans. Si eres un pinche marihuano, go get your tickets now. It will definitely sell out. It comes with a little gift action. You guys already know we gift all the fans. So go get your tickets now at thecomedystore.com. We are having a very hard time with technical difficulties over here again. It's not no one's fault. It's not my fault. Hit the like button, subscribe.
This is
dude,
crazy.
I don't know how I got a green screen before I got a green card.
Yeah, I know. It looks pretty cool, no?
I know. It looks bad, though. I don't know why we got this fucking rabbit hole conspiracy background. I was going to do a cop-oriented one, but Chili was like, don't test the waters, dog. I got a neck tat and you ain't got no papers.
Yeah,
what the fuck
I
are we
don't even want to
doing?
mess with it.
Trying to act like we're in jail before we are in motherfucking jail.
There's a lot of cops out today, that's why.
Dude, you keep saying that shit. It is getting closer to the month. Yeah, I was about to say it's closer to the end of the month, so these fools are coming in motherfucking hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, go get your tickets now. Now that Chili's got the website up, go get your tickets now at thecomedystore.com. We got no VIP booths, no more Mitzi booths, just regular tickets. Go get your tickets now. So let's sell this motherfucker out, baby.
All right, so did you already, I was trying to fix this. Did you already mention the mystery boxes?
Oh, yeah, no, fuck yeah, no, you're right.
My bad. I was like,
this week we're not doing signed canvases. We're switching it up on you motherfuckers. We're doing a mystery box, $100 mystery box. And the homie just mentioned it. The homie, obviously a fan. He's been to some of the shows. He said he wore his mystery t-shirt out in public and he got the looks. It's one of those t-shirts.
I don't even know which one it is.
It's
I do.
Yeah, it's a mystery t-shirt, so I'm not going to mention it. It's a surprise. Solo dolo. Go fucking do a super chat, participate. You'll get a $100 mystery box. I'll hook it up with a bunch of random shit. If Chili has any stickers, any butthole stickers,
I do.
We'll toss them in there for you guys.
Yeah.
You motherfucking assholes.
Jesus, why are you so aggressive?
I don't know. I'm in an aggressive
Open your
mood.
can. Open your can. It's because shit was.
You know, right? You're right, Chili.
Nope. I didn't pick the background, by the way, but whatever it is, I wanted freaking. Is it good? That one's watermelon. I have a mango. Mango's good.
No, I like it. But
I wanted to do bikini bottom for the background.
Well, we have a green screen. We just pulled down the green screens today because we got another XG files in the works. It's actually a pretty good one. We go deep down the rabbit hole of Chili Millie's fucking gate program.
Yeah, because I came up with it. Oh, okay.
Bro, you learned some shit about Chili, bro. Lucid dreaming. We go deep down the rabbit hole. So it's gonna be coming out in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for that.
I thought it was good. It seemed pretty good.
No, it was great. I mean, I'm already editing it in my mind, and it's fucking amazing. Anyways, let's go fucking straight into the subject.
No, wait. How was your Afro Man thing? Chill.
Oh, shit. No, you're right. No. You're completely right. I forgot. Anybody who doesn't know or who missed out, Friday night, I did a deep solo stream. Just me, no Chili Millie, just me and the weather girl. And I did a deep dive on the new American hero, Afro Man.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
It was fun, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I had clips ready to go. It was funny. Dude, the trial's nuts. It's probably one of the craziest trials. I'm not going to say I've ever seen or participated because I'm not really a trial type of guy.
That one was entertaining.
This shit was nuts, bro. They played. So for everybody who doesn't know, Afro Man's house got raided. I think in 2021. He wasn't even at home when this shit got raided. It got raided for distribution of narcotics, kidnapping in a basement. Doesn't even own a basement. They came, raided his house, stole his money, broke his front gate, broke his front door open, messed with this fucking surveillance system. They did this whole motherfucking works as if he was a terrorist when he's just a motherfucking rapper.
Hey, what's up with you? Is this like your new word, motherfucking?
Maybe, I don't know, but he's just a guy who...
I was gonna clean my room until I got high.
That's all he fucking does is get my fucking high, and you want to raid this fool's house looking for fucking sex trafficking fucking accusations? What? I don't care. We get demonetized. We got super chatters. They keep us alive.
Motherfucking. It reminded me of like an episode of Boondocks or something. Do you know what I mean? The way he was dressed and like all the stupid shit, and the dude thinking that his wife is cheating on him and not like the father of his daughter, and it's such a crazy story.
It's nuts. And they lost them all.
None
And they
of it
lost the
seemed
whole
real.
case. I'm so happy they lost. They went in there trying to take $4 million out of Afro Man, which I don't even know if he's got that.
$4 million?
$4 million, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. They were talking about how they got harassed, death threats.
Oh, they sued him for $4 million?
Yeah, they were trying to sue him for $4 million.
Oh, I thought that's what the money they took.
Oh, no, my bad. No, they lost the case. So, no, they didn't take anything.
Damn, they're trying to sue him for $4 million?
$4 million.
Dang, that's crazy. That's so stupid. I'm so glad he won. He won twice.
You know what I know he does have? He has 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
He just hit 1 million. That's crazy. And for everybody who doesn't know, I got this fucking word wrong last time. I'm going to get it wrong. I can't even say it. Fuck.
Dude, I'm going to take a drink every single time.
There we go. I got it. The Streisand effect.
You got it.
The Streisand effect. They try to fucking bury this fucking topic down, and all they did is fucking blow it up. Now we're all talking about it. Adams County knows everything about this trial. They got to move out.
I'm taking a drink every time you say motherfucking. Or
He's got to move out too. Me and Sam
yeah,
were talking
I saw
about
Sam
it.
saying that he has to move out of that town because he's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's screwed. Like you're not gonna.
I'd be scared.
Yeah.
I would be so scared.
You do a Cali roll, DUI.
Yeah.
You do any type of traffic.
They're just gonna fuck with him and his whole family. There's just no point in living there.
Move.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is pretty.
But he still won, and he's famous for it. Would you
think
go watch him in a show? You think?
He's gonna be selling out. I don't know if I'd watch him because I mean I'm not gonna be a hater. I'm not really like I didn't really like that the lemon pound cake, even though
No? I didn't listen to any of those
It's just
songs.
going viral. Everyone
Yeah.
says they love the lemon pound cake song he brought up, but it's no mother. None of this.
Baby, that's
None of this. Bro, that song's great. Have you've heard it, right?
Yeah, of
It's
course.
amazing.
Yeah.
I wish he brought a Colt 45 part 2.
That would be cool.
Very tight.
Part 2, just the same
Yeah,
song
part 2.
again, just different lyrics.
No, what do you mean? Another story. More stories. You don't remember it's a crazy like old man sex stories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was good. You did a good deep dive.
Yeah, I did a nice little deep dive. I had a couple of the homies participating, tuning in. It was fun.
So if you want to get into it, the Justin Timberlake.
Oh yeah, talking about people getting screwed over.
You think I got screwed over? Or what do you think?
Well, okay, so
we can talk about it first before I play it.
yeah. So okay, yeah. I was about to ask you. I didn't
They
really
didn't know who he was.
So did he get caught up with weed or
No. He was drunk.
he was drunk?
Yeah, it's a DWI. We looked it up. DWI is like driving while intoxicated. That means that you're over the limit. DUI is like if you're under 21 and you're just a little bit over the limit or something. That's what Google said when I Googled it. But no, he was drunk. He couldn't pass the test because it's so hard.
Dude,
have you done that test before?
Yeah, it's
hard.
It's not hard. Well, I wasn't drunk. I blew barely over the limit, but I was underage.
Why'd they even test you? Why'd you even do a test? You're already underage.
Because it's protocol. That's the thing. It's protocol. They have to do it. So that's the thing is I literally looked over at the cop and I was like, did I pass the test? And he's like, yeah, but it's protocol. So you have to blow into the machine anyways. I'm like, so then why did you make me do this stupid test if no matter what, I have to blow into the machine? It's just protocol. I don't know why they make you do it. You can sit there and say you're not, and then they just bring out the machine. But I literally asked him, I was like, so if I pass the test, why do I have to blow into the machine? He just said, it's the requirement. It's part of the fucking law. And the test is not hard. It's just they're looking for signs that most likely you don't know what signs they're looking for. Like they say something like when you look into their eyes, you're not supposed to move your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Which
No, you're not supposed to move your head. You have to move your eyes
Yeah.
only.
Which-
Then you already failed. You have to move your eyes, but not your head. So is that hard for you to do? Like you?
I mean,
no, you move your eyes only, not your head.
I know, but when
you just did it. You just go like.
I don't know. But I don't know if the test is hard. But what I don't understand is like how you so fucking rich and can't afford an Uber, can't afford a one of your
or
own
no
just
one
to
told
take
you to
around.
get an Uber. You're
Huh?
right. Yeah, like how did no one tell him like to get an Uber?
Because he's plastered. He's not a couple drinks in.
No.
No, because when I got it, like I said, when I got a DUI, I blew barely over the limit. I was underage, and the limit should have been 000, and it wasn't 000. So they had to get me a DUI. There was no, even the cop was like, dude, I can't help you. You're supposed to blow 000, and your dumbass is not blowing 000. Have to get you a DUI. It was the guy. I don't think the cop felt bad, but they always act like they feel bad. He's like, I don't want to do this to you, dude, but I have to.
You think?
Huh?
Yeah. I mean,
that's what the
they
cop
didn't.
told me, and I was like, if you didn't have to, you didn't have to.
Oh,
You
yeah,
could have
yeah.
just not
They
gave me a
could've
DUI.
just let you go.
Exactly. You don't.
Yeah.
But they sit there in the car and be like, it's gonna be for the. It's gonna be.
But
for
what
the
if you
rest of the-"
crashed and then like what if you crashed and then they review it and then they see that like
Oh, he could definitely.
you've seen cases
no.
like that
He
where
could-
like
yeah, he could definitely get screwed for not. I
Yeah.
mean,
Especially if you're underage.
I just saw a case not that long ago of BJ's in I don't know what county got their alcohol revoked for giving alcohol to someone and then them getting a
underage.
DUI.
yeah, or if they cause like a big accident,
Yeah.
they can go to
You
jail.
overpour. It's called overpouring, overserving, and like I mean, you shouldn't walk out of a restaurant plastered. It's a restaurant. I'm not saying you shouldn't walk out of the club.
Have you ever been at a bar or something like that? Like where
Plastered?
you're super fucked
Oh,
up
yeah.
and like they should have cut you off.
100%.
Me too. I've been carried out of one, and
Yeah, and they don't-
my dad was pissed, and he was like, "They should have never stopped serving you." And I was like, everyone was giving them to me, so it wasn't the bar's fault. But
Damn, I feel bad for your dad.
yeah, because they had to carry me into that.
I've seen my dad have to carry my sister, and they're just like, yeah.
My dad didn't carry me, and thank God I had a big guy with me, and the big guy carried me, and my dad was just like, "What the?" It was my birthday.
Yeah, okay, a little better. Okay, I feel a little less for your dad.
It
It's
was
your
10
birthday.
o'clock, dude. It was so fucking early, dude.
No, but
yeah.
and I mean we have the whole capture here of Justin Timberlake getting pulled over on his DUI case, which
Should I big it or small or mini?
I mean you could play. I mean
mini?
I don't know. We could just fucking run through it. Like I said, it's the whole case. We're not gonna play the whole thing. It just kind of runs. It reminds me of down memory lane a little bit because it fucking sucks, bro.
I'll play it.
You're gonna look down at your toes, guys.
He makes it seem more difficult than it is, though.
My friend's back to my house. I'm not like these are like really hard tests.
Can you guys please just do me a favor because you loved Bye 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 or
I'm
like
happy-
Sexy Back?
so-
Like,
I'm
do
happy-
me one
crazy.
favor.
That's crazy.
I did everything.
That
Did
girl's
one
more
thing.
embarrassing than anything. What do you, like? Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah,
right?
I watched the whole thing. But wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you try to be like, yo, he's been on like if I've been on Rogan, he'd be like, he's been on Rogan's, he's on Netflix. You remember like Sexy Back? Like you've danced to that song. Like you've gotten like you would try to do anything, and if you want it, you're not my co-host.
I do.
Deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil Hat.